Right now, somewhere in your pocket or on the table beside you, your phone is waiting. You haven't touched it in 11 minutes. That feels like a long time. Your hand is already moving toward it. You probably don't even notice you're doing it, but the real answer for why you do this is far stranger than addiction, far older than apps, and it starts almost 3 million years ago on the plains of East Africa. You like to think this is a modern problem, a willpower problem, a you problem. It is not. Your brain evolved in a world where information was survival. Every rustle in the grass could be wind, or it could be a predator. Every distant sound could be nothing, or it could be a rival group approaching your territory. The humans who checked, who scanned, who stayed alert to new information in their environment were the ones who survived long enough to have children. The ones who didn't check were eaten, or starved, or caught off guard. Checking wasn't a flaw. Checking was the whole strategy. Anthropologist Sarah Blaffer Hrdy has spent decades studying what she calls the social mind of early humans. The idea that our ancestors survived not through strength, but through constant tracking of social information. Who is allied with whom? Who is angry? Who has food? Who might help you tomorrow? This tracking never stopped. It couldn't stop. A human who tuned out of the social network even for a few days could miss a shift in alliances that determined whether they ate that winter. So your brain built a system for this. A system that rewards you in small chemical bursts every time you receive new information, especially new social information. Now picture your phone. Every notification is a rustle in the grass. Every message is a shift in the social network. Every red dot is a signal that something has changed in your environment, and your ancestor's brain, the one still running the show inside your skull, treats that signal exactly the way it would have treated a sound in the dark. Here's where it gets stranger. In the 1950s, psychologist B.F. Skinner ran a series of experiments with pigeons and a lever. Press the lever, get a food pellet. Simple enough. But Skinner discovered something unexpected when he changed the pattern. When pigeons received a pellet every single time they pressed the lever, they pressed it occasionally, whenever they were hungry. But when the pellets came at random, unpredictable intervals, sometimes one press, sometimes 20, the pigeons pressed the lever constantly, obsessively, even when they weren't hungry, even when nothing was happening. This is called a variable ratio reinforcement schedule, and it is, without exaggeration, the most powerful behavior-shaping pattern ever discovered. It is also exactly how your phone works. You don't get a like every time you post. You don't get a text every time you check. Sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes there's something amazing. You can't predict which, so you check again. And again. Not because you're weak, because you have a pigeon's brain wired by 3 million years of evolution, sitting inside a primate body, holding a device engineered, intentionally, to exploit that exact wiring. Does that make you feel a little better? Or worse? There's another piece to this, and it's even older than tool use. It's older than language. Your brain has a region called the amygdala, a small almond-shaped structure tucked deep behind your eyes. Decoded simply, the amygdala is your threat detector. It scans your environment constantly for anything that might be dangerous, and when it finds something, it floods your body with alertness before your conscious mind even catches up. For most of human history, threats were physical. A predator, a falling branch, a stranger from outside the group. Today, the amygdala still scans, but the environment it scans has changed completely. Now the threats are social. A bad email, a text that says, "We need to talk," a comment that might be about you. Your amygdala cannot tell the difference between a saber-toothed cat and a passive-aggressive group chat message. To your nervous system, uncertainty itself is the threat, and your phone is a constant glowing source of uncertainty. This is why you check it even when you're anxious about what you'll find. Maybe especially then. Neuroscientist Robert Sapolsky, who spent years studying stress in primates, found something remarkable about baboon troops in Kenya. The baboons with the most stress-related health problems weren't the ones facing the most physical danger. They were the ones with the most unstable social relationships, the ones who could never quite predict where they stood with the rest of the troop. Uncertainty itself, Sapolsky found, was more damaging than actual threat. Sound familiar? Every unread message is a small dose of that exact uncertainty. Where do I stand? What does this mean? Did they see what I posted? Are they mad? And your brain, the same brain that kept your ancestors alive by obsessively monitoring their social standing in a group of maybe 50 people, is now trying to monitor your standing in a network of hundreds or thousands all at once, all the time. It was never built for this volume, but it doesn't know that. It just keeps doing its job. There's one more piece, and it might be the strangest of all. For nearly the entirety of human existence, your ancestors lived in small bands. Everyone you would ever meet, you already knew. There were no strangers walking past you on a street, no faces you'd see once and never again. Your social world was closed, finite, knowable. Then, starting around 10,000 years ago, agriculture changed everything. Villages became towns, towns became cities. Suddenly, you were surrounded by people you didn't know, would never know, and could never fully track. Anthropologists call this the beginning of anonymous society, and your brain has never fully caught up to it. Your phone is the final stage of that process. It connects you not to 50 people, but potentially to millions. Strangers comment on your photos. Strangers' opinions appear in your feed. Your ancient social tracking system, the one built for 50 faces, is now trying to process input from the entire world, and it cannot tell the difference between a close friend's message and a stranger's outrage. To your nervous system, it all reads as social information that matters. So you check, not because the information is actually important, but because for almost 3 million years, checking was how you stayed alive, stayed informed, stayed safe within your group. Tonight, when you put your phone down and feel that pull 11 minutes later, you'll know what it actually is. It isn't weakness. It isn't a character flaw invented by Silicon Valley. It's a 3 million-year-old survival instinct, reaching for information in the dark, the same way it always has, except now the grass never stops rustling.